Ever since I was a kid, I've been passionate about motorbikes and travelling. And a couple of years ago, I did a trip called Long Way Around with my best mate, Ewan McGregor.
Sounds of achievement. Yes!
And we basically went from London to New York via Russia, Kazakhstan, Siberia, Alaska, and America.
Welcome!
And seeing the most incredible things and meeting the most incredible people.
Oh! Fucking hell!
I'm so glad you're still here. But that feeling of getting to New York and having done the trip, having ridden around the world, was one of the best feelings I've ever had.
We did it! New York!
It kind of left me wanting more. North Africa and the Sahara Desert, some of the most challenging terrain on Earth. It's home to possibly the most dangerous sporting event in the world, the Dakar Rally. I've been talking about it all year, and now I've got to do it.
Oh man, we are on our way.
There's no going back now, is there?
People who come on this race take their own risk.
It ain't easy, and when it gets hard is when you've got to really dig deep.
Watch out! There's so many people who'd like to see me fail.
The reality is things can go wrong.
Look, they're all going for it.
It's like wacky races.
Damn it.
Just cars and bikes strewn everywhere. This is hell.
Look at that, pissing out, fuel everywhere.
That was terrifying.
It's so scary.
That could have been it like that.
Don't let my senses disrupt me, nothing to develop me. I'm setting my sights on you. And in the far-off distance, I'm afraid of wishing I was safe at home with you. It's just a race to Dakar, doesn't really matter. You got to see it through, see it through.
One of my childhood dreams was to do the Dakar Rally.
First of all, he suggested we both did it. And I knew that I'm not good enough to, to ride on the Paris-Dakar. And I think the only reason he really is doing it is because he said to our publishers of The Long Way Round that he was going to do it, and they put it in the fly notes of the book. Someone showed us a copy of the book for the first time, and he opened the flyleaf and he went, shit, it says I'm doing the Dakar next year. I'll have to do the Dakar next year. So that's why he's doing it, because he got caught.
So I'm gonna fucking well go now. Fuck.
We do realise how serious the Dakar is, and especially Charlie. And he does worry about it, and I think he feels that he's got himself into, a bit of deep water, but there's no going back now. He has to do it.
My co-partner.
You mean co-partner?
When Charlie came to me after Long Way Round and he said he wanted to do the Dakar, or as I knew it then, the Paris-Dakar, I thought he was mad. I said, before we fire everything up, let's go and take a look at the event, and when you come back, if you're still that passionate, we'll do it.
Dakar Rally's been going on for about 20 years and normally takes place in the deserts of North Africa. I'm joining the rally at a bivouac, which is like a tented village, about halfway through the race. All right, I'm standing here in Mauritania in the middle of nowhere. Kind of mad, actually. I hadn't really thought it would be such a carnival. And it is the most difficult race you can do. This pushes you to every limit. The Dakar Rally isn't all about motorbikes. There are 160 cars and about 80 trucks. And of course, there were all the mechanics who have to keep all these vehicles going.
People who come on this race take their own risk. You never know what could happen. On 9,000 kilometers, it's very difficult to prevent all the risk, and the zero risk don't exist. Dakar is Dakar.
Yeah, it's been a real day of the Dakar, for sure. I think today, a lot of guys are going to spend some time in the night coming out. 600 kilometers, non-stop. There's no rhythm. Up, down, you can't go. Second, third gear, first gear, second, third gear, flying in the air.
Man, it's tough. I mean, see their hands, their calluses, they're all ripped up. I've just gone through one of those real sort of low moments now, thinking maybe this is really what I want to do. We're trying to go for a pee, but you have to pay. I'm going for a pee. This is the toilette D here. It's quite clean. I say. Do you think they ran out of wood? So apparently this guy does quite a good business. He's one of the more wealthy people in the village. He charges people for a shit. So I heard stories last night of some guy had crashed and had broken his arm, and they were operating on him, and he's now slipped in a coma. And there's another guy whose whole left side has been smashed up. Something 209 bikes start, and only 45 or so will finish. A lot of them have run out of fuel. There was information given last night that they would be refueling, but they didn't say that they would only be giving them 20 litres. So a lot of the guys left with not enough fuel. 3 years ago, the same thing happened, and this Italian guy, he stopped there, he said you can only have 5 litres of fuel. He got so angry, he pulled out a gun, pointed it at the guy and said, "Fill my fucking bike up." At the moment, I'm just having this roller coaster of at one moment thinking, yeah, I can do this, and the next moment thinking, God, just no way. Entering the Dakar takes a huge amount of organisation because you've got to go through 5 countries, each of which you have to do the legal paperwork for. Brilliant, absolutely. I've realised I've got to really concentrate on my bike training, so we need to hire a few more people to help us sort it out.
I am just doing a checklist of all the paperwork we need for the Dakar Rally. Original driving licences, they have to take those with them. Original passports, obviously. We need to have visas for everyone from Mauritania, Mali and Guinea.
Well, Charlie's obviously very keen to do the Dakar, and that's great. He's very passionate about it. But if he does it on his own, I think he's a fool, because you can get stuck out in the desert and you're on your own then, and that could be game over.
Go on, boy, don't fanny him out.
So the next thing is you have to have a second rider who can back him up, somebody who's done it before, help him with the mechanics, help him with the training.
Oh, it's so easy when you know how.
One guy who's got everything we need is Simon Pavey. We first met him on Long Way Round when he trained Ewan and Charlie for the trip. He's Australian and he's a brilliant rider.
Have your lungs burst? It's just putting that big effort in when your lungs and heart are bursting. You just gotta keep going, because as soon as you stop, it's harder and harder. So you just gotta, no matter how out of breath you are, just keep fucking flailing those legs and just hold the throttle on and hang on.
Si runs the BMW Off-Road Training School in Wales. He's a really nice guy. He's done the Dakar 5 times and he's finished 3 of them, and that's a really good record. So if we can get this guy Si Pavey on board, then that's the answer as far as the next step is concerned.
We're going to spend the day together. He's my new instructor. Destructor.
I think it's brilliant that Simon is now on board. He's going to be able to get me bike fit, but I've really got to get physically fit. I've done a little bit of running and some bits and pieces, but I've really got to sort that out as well, my physical training. No.
At the moment, I'm just taking your initial measurements. Weight doesn't really matter. It's more the size of your body to see where you're putting on muscle, where you're losing weight. And it's also where I'm going to catch you out if you're not doing what we're asking you to do, yeah?
Yes.
So your weight can go up and down pretty quickly, but your measurements will be quite honest, and that's what I'm after. Okay.
Ow!
Just relax and look up.
So embarrassing. My God, 50, 40, 30, 28.
Go for 53. You are 29.3, which is above a health concern.
I'm in the concern bracket.
You're in the health concern bracket, yes. Okay.
You know, I'm in the obese category.
So my main goals for you are, for Dakar, you need to be in the fitness category. But definitely in the next 3 months, we need to see your body fat percentage coming down. How are you feeling?
Depressed. It's the morning of the BMW off-road training school, and we're going to do a little bit of riding with Simon Pavin. He was worried that, you know, we're not going to have enough time for training, which is fair enough. You know, there's a lot to do really on the bike thing, getting trained up. I mean, as he said on the telephone, he said that, you know, the thing is, I could go to the start line now at the Dakar, and be ready for it. But could Charlie, which is no. So Simon, what are you up to today?
Drinking tea, eating bacon sandwiches, and making Charlie sweat. We're going to have some carnage on the mountain. A little bit of a giggle.
At anyone in particular?
At everyone.
It's tough to train for the Dakar, but this is what I do every day. It's important that I get fit on a bike because you can't recreate the muscles you use in the gym. I've got to get fit enough so I can ride over rocks and especially over sand. It's good fun. What do you think, Simon?
Looking better every time, mate. Looking better every time.
Yeah. So, Simon, truthfully,
fucking shite, man.
I've just been riding motorbike for the last 2 days, and yesterday I went out with Simon and a couple of the local lads down in Wales. I reckon that these Welsh guys really wanted to try and break me, you know, and so we went to the most nuttiest places you've ever seen. I mean, it was brilliant, but my God, I was beaten up. And as I'm going on like this, right, this branch comes through me here and just rips my hand back, so I get scattered off, taken off the bike, and bang on the ground. And I do this damage here. There, can you see that? Right there. There's that. And there's all bruising here. And then here. And then you go to here, and there's all that bruising there. Okay? And there's that bruising there. And then about 10 minutes later I did this, and I could barely see for about 5 minutes with the stars in my eyes.
Part of Charlie's training program, get him out racing. When you go racing, you're going to push yourself so much harder physically. Also, with your speed, you're going to find someone just a little bit quicker than you that you can chase down.
Woo! Charlie's first race. Gonna pop his racing cherry.
I'm about to do my first race. I'm a little bit nervous because I've got Simon watching me, and I think he really wants me to do well.
How's it going? You know, shitting myself just before the start, but it seems to be a bit better.
We had to do as many laps as possible in 3 hours. It sounds okay, but it's a really tough terrain.
Charlie's speed's got better, his confidence has grown every time. He's certainly on a steep learning curve. But the big disappointment for me was that he didn't finish because he ran out of energy and willpower, really. But I'm hoping that he's learned from it, and hoping he's realised, you know, it's made him realise that it ain't easy, and when it gets hard is when you've got to really dig deep.
The Dakar is always the Dakar, but to take someone else that has never competed and to train them and get them ready for such a big adventure, it's an unknown quantity.
I hadn't ridden a bike with aggression and speed for a long time. I certainly haven't ridden a bike which is full of fuel, you know, 40, 60 litres of fuel on board, plus trying to get through the desert, and plus doing it day after day. So there's a lot to learn.
1, down, 2, 3.
I'll tell you what, I think there's one thing I really know, and that's I've got to get fitter.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Good. Just walk it up. You're right.
You know, hundreds of thousands of pounds are being invested in this, and the bike is, at the end of the day, probably the most core piece of kit you've got. And if that packs up, you're out.
We have to modify these bikes for the Dakar Rally. So we're using this company in Germany who are hopefully going to sort it out.
When you're doing a Dakar, preparing a Dakar bike, the little details are so important.
How about the new rules for this year?
We have to check the rules and then we can modify it. It will not be a problem. We have different fuel tanks in stock that we can adapt, and we have here inside all the little parts for the rally bikes.
You know, I've had quite a few reservations about the whole Touratech building the bike scene, but I'm a lot more confident now that we're still going to have control over how the bikes are built, and the final say on how they're set up will be down to myself and Charlie, which is the most important thing because we've got to ride the bikes.
Looks like Gareth's going to be involved now, Gareth Edmonds, who was my mechanic last year.
Gareth is brilliant for it. He's a truly dedicated mechanic, and I think, you know, Gareth will sit there and will work on the bike all night long. He'll do it. He'll work on all 3 bikes all night long, you know, and that's what you want.
We decided we need a third rider for the team because you have to have somebody that's going to film like Sky and Charlie doing their stuff. So we've got to find somebody who's a good shooter, a good rider, fits in with the team, and also importantly, we're learning now somebody that might be prepared to give their bike up if Charlie's breaks. Why have you decided on Matt?
I think Matt is the right person because, 1, because he's come very recommended from Simon. 2, he's made some bike films, and you know, he's a nice guy as well.
Cut!
Oi, Matt!
No!
Oh, on fire. So what do you reckon his excuse is going to be?
Couldn't see. He disappeared. Because
Team building.
Teammate.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So what happened?
I went one down.
You what?
I went down the wrong way, I think. Well, I saw all these guys getting stuck up the front, so I thought I'll go to the left, and I could see a nice little clear line. It all went horribly wrong.
Covered in boxes.
But it's all good training.
Matt used to be a scrap metal man, and he's now an antiques dealer.
Been doing this job for about 15 years now.
First time I met Charlie was up in Wales, and yeah, we got on really well actually.
Yeah, go on, I'll take those, please.
And Charlie rang up and said, you know, if the chance came up, would I be interested in joining him going to Dakar? First I was just shocked really, and then felt, yeah, really happy about it.
A new bruise. You see, that was her mother, that one, isn't it? Look at the colour. And it all goes round to there and all around to there. We've got 5 months to go now. I've done quite a few races and haven't been able to finish any of them, so I'm starting to get nervous now. I'm happy to take the knocks, but I think it's just the knowledge of knowing what it feels like when you fall off that makes you a bit tentative. And then when you watch Simon, Simon is so smooth when he rides. You think you're going really fast, and suddenly he just goes, he's gone.
It's like a beautiful course. Not hard, easy, but fun. Fun kind of course.
It just gets a bit more nervous as it gets closer to the time, you know what I mean?
How do you fancy Charlie's chances of surviving? Finishing? No, you had no problems around there. No problems at all.
I just have no fucking idea where I'm going, so that first lap, you know, you just got to take it easy. And these guys, Simon's really up for a bit of a race today, so I think he wants to win it. The race is called a Hare and Scramble, and it's a 3-hour race, and you do about between 3 and 4 laps an hour, depending on how good you are. And basically, it's the person who does the most laps wins.
Oh, fuck. What happened?
You know that arm I was telling you about before?
Yeah.
It's just that every time I go over even the smallest ripple, I just feel this whole, like, blancmange, the fucking pain. The last lap was just, like, unbearable. Fucker. Really disappointed. I talked myself out of it, really. I sort of spent the whole 3 hours trying to sort of make up an excuse to stop, and And eventually I did. I just pulled over and stopped. I mean, I was making a lot of mistakes and I was falling over. Yeah, it's swollen, look. You see? I got really disappointed Simon, actually. I think he was really pissed off.
Hey, well done. Cheers, lads. You know, if he hadn't finished because he'd run out of time, I would have been ecstatic. But he didn't finish because he stopped. And that was the thing that kind of upset me, I guess. And he knew that and I knew that, because at the end, you know, he just kind of got in his car and went off.
The deeper we get into this, the less likely I am of being able to back out, and just the responsibility is enormous. I just can't let people down now. I think it's just gone on. I've taken it a bit too far now to back out. Since I hurt my arm, it's been really painful. It's keeping me up at night, and so I'm going to go and have it checked out to see if there's anything really wrong with it.
No, everything's fine.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. So it's basically a bad bruise then?
Deep bruising, but trying to keep the arm up. One of the problems with bruising around here, if your arm's hanging down, it all goes down. If you're then using it a lot, and increasing the blood supply to the muscle, and you haven't fully finished clotting in through there, you can actually start bleeding again.
It was probably all a bit of a waste of a time, but it was a bit embarrassing. But, you know, I mean, the thing is, it could quite well have been, I mean, it's that painful that it could quite well have been a small fracture, and I could have just sort of gone, oh, well, you know, it's fine, don't worry about it. And I could have ended up doing some more damage and then risk all the training. So at least I know what it is now, and I know that, you know, within 3 or 4 or 5 days, it'll be fine. And then I said, well, you know, can I ride my motorbike? And he goes, yeah, you'll be fine.
How are we getting on with the designs, Luce?
John sent over an updated design. There you go.
Our team is called Race to Dakar, so we've got 3 bikes, but I didn't realise at the beginning of this that the assistance route is almost as long as the race route, and it's equally dangerous. BMW have given us an X5 as our service support vehicle. We have to have a car that I can drive with the mechanics on board and one of our cameramen.
You right in the back?
The chances of us getting stuck in the desert, breaking a car or having a crash are significant, so we just got to be careful. This skull and crossbones marks the point where I crashed my Mitsubishi Animal on the long way round. I've managed to turn it over twice in the middle of Mongolia.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
And Charlie's never let me forget it.
I'm just so glad that you're here.
So we've been looking for a company who can prepare the car for us for the Dakar.
This is your car, Russ. This is your car, man.
You're going to see Russ cry now.
Really?
When he sees this, yeah.
How's the car?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's in bits. We'll give it our best shot, but it's going to be limited. It's not going to be as good as if we've got 6 months to work on it.
And what about the suspension?
There's nothing left.
How's that coming on?
Fine, it's here. This is a vital piece of equipment for this car.
Okay.
But you're not to give it to Russ, okay?
This is accelerator.
Very funny, Colin. Another essential part of our team will be our service support vehicle, and we're working with a guy called Keith Banyard, who has this huge truck onto which we're going to put all our spare parts and kit, and he'll drive between the bivouacs and set up our camp. And that pretty well completes the Race to Dakar team.
What does the Dakar mean to you? A lifelong ambition. Profession. What should we put your profession down as? Funny enough, actor's not one of the categories. Oh, and what hobbies do you have? That's not really a hobby, is it? It's just a natural reflex.
Things are going well in the office. I'm about to do my next race, which I'm really hoping to finish. And I'm going to go down and see Simon because he's asked to have a bit of a chat.
We'd done a few events, I think, and they possibly hadn't gone as well as I'd hoped, gone to plan. And then I had a couple of phone calls from a few industry people saying, you know, you need to sort out your riding position and everything, or you're never going to do a day of the Dakar. And
I don't know, that pisses me off. I hate it when people say that, you know, someone can't do something. Maybe it's a good motivation.
No, I think it's bloody great, because I think,
really.
yeah, it pisses you off. If it pisses you off, that's going to be a good thing.
Okay, now.
Cameras at dawn.
Cameras at dawn.
Yeah.
But we're up because we're doing the dawn to dusk, which is, you know, why we're doing it, I don't know. Okay.
How do you feel about your race?
I don't feel about the race. Very nervous.
Are you good?
Your daddy's man doing the Dakar?
Kind of.
Why?
Because it's very hard, and you could get killed on the Dakar.
Do you think it's more dangerous than long way round?
Yes.
The dawn to dusk, 12-hour enduro.
Dawn to Dusk is a race that Simon and Nick Plum do. It's a 12-hour race. You can race it as an Ironman, where you do the whole thing by yourself, or you do a two-man team, which I did with Lee Walters, who's a nutter. Those two struggling to get up the hill. I mean, you can laugh now, but I might be in the same position.
You just want him to finish?
No, I want him to finish, but I want him to push all day as well. They should be out there going for it.
He wants me to finish and finish well. Guess where I'm going?
Up your numpty.
Very slippery out there. Just take your time, Charlie. Watch out for those rocks.
Yeah, just watch the stones, it's very slippery. And there's a lot of them. If you fall off, you can have your elbow straight away. It's just carnage out there because you've got two hills. Everybody's stuck. Everybody's pushing, pulling, everybody's shouting at each other, swearing at each other. Get out of the way, get out the f***ing way. Come on, Charlie boy! Come on, son! 54. Give us that! No!
To be fair, Charlie did not want to do this last lap, but I think he knew all eyes was on him to put on a good show today, and so hopefully he'll come back intact.
I went there with a lot of sort of pressure on me to do well, or at least to finish this 12-hour race. And I suddenly I'd picked up the pace and I was sort of going along actually quite fast. And when I was tired, I was able to sort of pull myself together and just carry on.
No, it's a bloody awesome ride, eh? Awesome ride.
Yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased for myself, but I'm especially pleased for Simon. Because I did it for him on this one. I did for him. You know, there's lots of stuff, little tricks you can learn that I'm picking up all the time. He's good fun, Simon, and it seems to be going well. So I'm very, very happy with it all. It's just a matter now of just doing more and getting my pace up a bit.
I think he's very well prepared. He's put a huge amount of commitment into it all this year. We've barely seen him, so we've missed him, but at the same time, it means that he's been very dedicated, and I feel confident that he's now fit enough he's well prepared to do the Dakar.
Well, I'm really happy. I've finally finished a race, came 17th, but things are starting to hot up in the office now, and there just seems to be a lot to do.
I mean, the good news, I suppose, is that Charlie survived the ride on the weekend and did quite well. And the bike is built, and Cy and Matt, it's all cohesive. You know, the team's good.
Yeah. We want at least 8 full days in Dubai.
I suppose the bad stuff that we still haven't sorted out is one, we don't know how good Charlie is on sand, hence the trip to Dubai. Two, we've got to give the bike a shakedown.
Oh my God. Jesus, look.
Yeah, it'll be right. Yeah.
Nice. Jesus. It looks amazing, Gareth.
Good to get out on it tomorrow and give it its first test run. Make sure everything's right before we go off to Dubai.
You know, it's my first Dakar, and I've had a rally bike built for me, which I've never actually even turned a screw on. How spoilt is that? It was Gareth's baby. You know, I don't think he could bear to let anybody ride it. It was a little bit annoying. This new rally bike is such a nice bike to ride. You know, I was really dead happy, and it does look fucking sexy. Matt and I are going out early to Dubai with our mechanic Gareth, who's bringing out the rally bike. Simon is coming in a few days' time, after we've had a chance to get a head start with the sand train. I was worried that you'd chicken out.
I wouldn't make it?
Yeah.
You're not going to come? No, he thinks I'm a chicken shit.
No, see, once he hooks that belly
true.
over the petrol tank, then that's it, he's stuck on the bike forever.
Yeah, I've been putting on weight all week just to make Charlie feel better about himself. Yeah, that's right.
He's been told to do that, isn't it?
Hopefully the bike won't break and I can get suntan.
Blah, 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 blah. It's the first time that all of us have a chance to be able to get together and be able to try and figure out what we need to do and try and spend some time as a team. There isn't anywhere else we can simulate that kind of sand training, and you know, it's the one thing I really need.
Free ride for
pregnant boys.
We've just arrived in Dubai. It's quite warm here, actually, which is nice.
It's 4:30 in the morning, and it must be about 30 degrees. You know it's hot when they've got air conditioning in the streets.
Okay, all right, rock and roll. It's extremely hot here, and it's going to be really tough.
I think it's definitely a good idea that we've come out here. Back home, the sand's wetter and it's not the same as riding in this powder, and the heat over here is just exactly what he needs.
I did my 50 laps this morning of the bath. And we're meeting this guy at 1 o'clock to go down to unpack the bike. Sean runs the BMW off-road skills course in Dubai, and he's a mate of Simon's.
Nice to meet you, Gareth.
Gareth is our mechanic.
I mean, it's your call, it's whatever you want to do, and you'll probably get a better idea tomorrow once you've ridden out there, but it's more so just to get an idea of reading the dunes, understanding what's around you, how it all works from one to the other.
I think we just bring all the toys out and just play. You know, we kind of took the attitude of like, fuck it, you know, we're men. And we're hard and we can do it.
The biggest problem you have is in the white sand, especially when the sun's above you. When it's right above you and behind you, it's like snowblind. The psychological side is sometimes the thing that's not people forget. That's where the accidents all start to happen. And obviously we don't want anybody harming themselves. We want you guys to get fit and get there the same way as you do. So I think egos have gone. There's no one goes into any of that when we get out in the desert.
He thinks we're all nobbers, which is a good thing, so that he hasn't got any expectations, which I'm really very, very happy about.
Because in the first few days we'll be riding as a group, because I think predominantly that's what you're going to do, but it's not always going to be possible. There will be days when you're split up, you're lost, you're doing 100 Ks, 150 Ks completely on your own.
Oh, fucking just all that pressure's back on again now. To be able to ride all this stuff, you know. If I was talking about doing fucking, you know, 80, 90 across fucking... things like that. They just, you know, just fucking scare the shit out of me.
It's like Bognor Regis.
Ready to go, Charlie?
Always ready to go. Very excited about riding the rally bike today.
Look at all those beautiful sand dunes. What could be finer?
Do you want to just go for it, or do you want a couple of pointers before you go?
Just go for it.
You see a few tears tomorrow, I'm sure.
Another hard day at the office.
It's the weirdest thing in the world to ride on sand. It's a little bit like the cross between skiing and being in a speedboat. The hard thing is to read your path through the desert. But you just got to be so careful of the other side of the dune, basically. That's the thing you just got to learn, you know.
Charlie's already broken the bike.
These bikes are unbreakable. It's the sump bolt that's out, isn't it?
Is it the sump bolt that's loose?
Sorry.
Jesus.
One down, Charlie.
And that,
4 to go.
The man's bike.
There are no rocks.
Huh?
Shit. Fine. Just the other one's fucked, that's all.
We've developed the bike a lot from last year. I mean, it feels 10 times lighter and easier to ride.
You know, Charlie's biggest weakness is he's like a bull in a china shop, you know. Everything he seems to do is 100%, you know.
All right, mate, we'll be done in half an hour. We'll see you at the BMW dealership. Well done, you've broken 2 bikes this morning. But that's 2 bikes now Charlie's broken on day 1 within, what, hour and a half?
Yeah.
That's not a bad record.
Hey, you can take as much joking as you want, but I don't see you out there, you know.
Yeah, we're just about to get into the pool. You know.
Just dip my toe in.
Hello! We've decided in future, when your number comes up, it's just going to like, you know. Day 2 in Dubai, and we've got Sean in front now, taking us somewhere out of Dubai for a run, but Matt's damaged himself a bit. He came off yesterday. He's got a huge bruise on his stomach and his thigh, which I think Charlie is quite pleased about, because it just shows that he's not the only one that's coming off at the moment.
Stop filming my injuries.
Oh, short the other one.
No, you don't. No, don't.
Oh, small punishment today.
Hope he's easy with it today.
Bruised, so whinging like little bloody girl.
I think Charlie's a bit nervous. He's been taken out into the desert by some guys that have raced here for years. I still think he's just building up his confidence. I think if he had a bit of an off today, it would knock it quite badly.
I've got to say, it's hard enough riding in the bloody sand without Russ trying to make us test these helmet cams. The big problem we have is that the our onboard camera stuff isn't working, or we're not using it properly.
And then Matt's specific requirement on your crash helmet is to be able to turn the camera around, so you know that if you're in front, you've got a wide-angle 35-degree view of whatever's behind you.
That
listen, it doesn't matter. I mean,
I know, but let's just talk through it. And
well,
talk,
I know.
talk
I'm just
through
trying
the
to say
ideas.
that we
Let's just
designed it
talk
all
through
for
the
a long way
ideas.
round, and we got it right. I'm just saying that this thing here.
I know what you're saying.
You
that
can actually
have
get
something
smaller
that,
cameras than that as well.
That turns, yeah, but then the quality of the lens goes down. But because it's an angle,
Not
you know,
necessarily.
it's very difficult. Well, when we experienced with smaller cameras with Sonic.
Yeah, but I've been doing this for years, Charlie. I'm just saying I know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to say that.
Well, we all know what we're talking about,
Yeah,
because I did it on Long Way
that's
Round, and we had smaller
Well,
lenses.
I did it
and
on Long Way Round.
And the smaller
I'm
lenses
yeah.
were not as good as this one.
End
That's
of
all.
conversation. We've fucking solved that one.
Okay, it's great.
Well, the whole purpose is
if I have an
here
opinion,
to test. No, I know.
It doesn't
I'm
matter.
just
It doesn't
simply
matter. You
saying
carry on.
we'll experiment
the point
with
is,
it.
Well, whatever,
I was
though,
putting in
if
mind
we're going to have
what I
things that
found
spin
out
round and whatever.
about before. That's all.
We're
You
going
have
to
to
need to do
respect
that quite quickly, aren't we?
You have to respect that opinion.
I know. Listen to it. I'm just saying we know about. Well, I know what you've said.
Talks a lot of bullshit, I must say.
I mean, I know what needs to be done. I'd rather just, not talk about it because we know what we're doing. We've been doing it for like 10 or 12 years. Yeah. So we're talking about nothing. You know, we might as well be talking about why jam donut's got jam in the middle or hasn't got jam in the middle. You know what I mean? It's a non-argument because we know what we're talking about.
There's a lot of big drop-offs on this area, Charlie. It's not like yesterday where you can just pop off them. Some of these will be 15, 20 metres big. So, especially with a rally bike, you want to roll off them. So try and keep your head up, and then if you see a sort of strange area, look around you to see why we've gone through there. It helps you read the dunes, yeah?
Christ, I'm freaked out. These guys are flying off much faster than I thought.
I've just had a call from Ollie to say that Charlie's broken his collarbone. I have to say, I've been thinking that we've been pushing these guys too hard. So, only the second day in bloody Dubai. Well, he appears to have gone down a steep slope and gone over the handlebars. But as I did in the back of my mind have these reservations that, you know, they're pushing these guys quite hard to get ready for a dangerous race. But in effect, they're taking the same risks during training that you would during, you know, the race itself.
Matt was sort of going down that way, and the others were up on top of the hill. And so we decided to chase after Matt, and just went over this dune, and it was just massive. And sort of the front wheel went down and just sank straight into the sand, and I just went over and went on the ground. The bike went over and followed me into the sand and buried me in the sand.
Been a big drop, huh? There's a big drop.
They should have just taken it nice and steady. You know, a bit of light dune work. Sean's taken them out over the biggest bumps you can sort of go over on day 2. You know, it's not
whole program here.
I mean, it's it's Sai's responsibility to do this stuff. He's not even here. You know, he's our expert, and he's left us in charge of Sean, who's a cool guy, but he's obviously a very experienced guy, and they've taken him too fast too soon.
It's a disaster. I mean, it's a fucking disaster. It's just a bit fucked off, really. I'm blaming Matt for this. If he hadn't torn off, you know, doing his own thing as usual, you know, it would have been okay. What?
It's not my fault you can't ride down dunes.
A bit harsh. I mean, this is my one chance just to get all this stuff out of the way and really learn to ride, and it was really good fun as well. I had a fucking laugh this morning. Well, thanks for being here for me, guys.
Feeling painful yet?
I just feel a bit of a knob, but you know.
All right, Liz, thanks a lot. You're doing a good job. So 10:30 started. Ooh, they're sticking a needle in him. Whoa. Charlie's really gone quite faint. I'm looking in that just to get my own back, just for 1 second. That was a big needle. We've got to have a look at it.
Fucking hell, that's gross.
Whoa. Oh. We're waiting for the X-rays to come out now. So, if it's bad news, he'll fly home tonight. So I'll tell him to give you a call. Bye. Bye.
It is broken. How long does that normally take?
To heal?
Yeah.
Between 2 to 3 months.
You know, I've been talking about it all year. Now I've got to do it. If I fail this, everything that we've spent, the bikes, everything, we're not going.
This makes it very serious. There's no going back now, is there?
We're starting to get a bit anxious now.
You're right, Charlie.
Yeah, fine. It's just, you know.
You don't need this at this moment, I know.
Yeah, no, I think you have to do something.
It's just ridiculous, you know? I'm fucking shitting myself.
Don't let my senses desert me, nothing to divert me. I'm setting my sights on you. And in the